Alright, I think I'm better now. Can you hear anything? Can you hear any sound now? I think I fixed whatever the sound issue was. At least I hope so. Hope I did. Definitely hope I did. Because it says I've got sound here, so I don't know. Oh, yeah, so we do have sound. Okay. What happened was, I don't know how I did this, but apparently my webcam and my microphone, I flip-flopped where they in the inputs I put them in. So for some reason, the webcam had, or the audio one had to be in the second slot. So whatever the case is, it's as good as I'm gonna get it right now, I guess, for lack of a better term. All right. So, and like I said, this is a test case, so who knows what will happen. Um, so if it's not interview, thank you, Ken, I definitely enjoyed it. I'm low, and I don't know how to get this thing higher. Let's see if I can adjust this in. Where would that be? Where would I do that? Mono, maybe? I don't think that would help. Got it up to 100%. Testing 1, 2, 3. I got it up to 100%, so I don't know why it's not getting louder. I just don't know. I've got it up as loud as I can get it. I'll try to talk loud. How about that? Best I can do. Like I said, it's a work in progress, so I'll work on it. How about that? All right, so what you guys, I guess, saw with no sound was a double by Scott Fletcher. And now we got Ruben Sierra. There's the havoc roll. Nothing happening. And that's a 6-11 switch hitter batting left-handed. Is a ground ball first base X. Wally Joyner is a 1-E11. So we'll see what Wally Joyner can do with that 1-E11. 1-19 is good all day long. It'll still advance the runner because it's to the right side. E11 and a 10 for first base. E11, there's no 10 there, so it'll be a ground out. The runner moving to third base. Joyner flipping to Lazorko for out number 2. Here's Pete O'Brien. O'Brien hitting 290 on the replay, 13 homers, 32 driven in. He hit 286 real world. Clutch situation as well. And in the clutch, O'Brien loses a hit on 1-2. And that's it. 4-7. And that's a base on balls. So the inning continues. And here's Larry Parrish. Larry Parrish hitting 232, 11 homers, 30 driven in. He hit 268 real world. Clutch situation for Parrish. He gains a hit on 1-5 and 1-10. And on 3-11, 3-12, and 3-3. Boy, he's got 5 hits he gets. 5 hits. 4-7, that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at McLemore, 2E22. 2E22. That's a 2 and a 5. 2 and a 5 is a G3 pound, but they weren't holding O'Brien on, so he's not responsible for that. But that is a 17, and that's bad news when you get something that high. E22 and a 17 is a 2-base error on Mark McLemore. Boy, I think you're going to get out of the inning and you end up with a 2-base error on Mark McLemore, and the Rangers take a 1-0 lead. Runners at second and third, still 2 outs for Pete Incaviglia. Wait a minute, the cards they're not showing. The heck? Oh, you know what it is? I had to disconnect the thing. So let me do this. Let me take the video capture out of this and start it up again. means that's what it's not doing the way it's supposed to do it. Now, let's see if I can put this where it's supposed to be, or hopefully where it's supposed to be. Let's see if I can get rid of the other video capture or hide it. And let's see what I can do with this video capture. Like I said, it's all a practice session here to see what's going to happen. For some reason, let's see if I can get this up to here. No, that's not going to work. I don't want to do that. That's what I want it to be, so you can see the whole card. So hopefully you guys can see that now. Let me pull these up a little bit. Very condensed space, so like I said, it's definitely a work in progress. So what we've got now, see here, I want to delete that all the way, so I don't want that. Just getting in my way. Alright, so hopefully, let me see if I can see what you guys are seeing. Hope you see P. Incaviglia now at bat, because Incaviglia is the guy that's at the plate. So Incaviglia is up in a clutch situation. In the clutch, Incaviglia, he will lose a hit on 312 and on 1-5. That's a 110. 110 is a ballpark blast. Ballpark blast on the 110. It's a 1-13 at Anaheim Stadium, and that is a 10. So that is a 3-run bomb for Pete Incaviglia. Pete Incaviglia, a 3-run home run. And just that quickly, it's 4-0 Texas. Sound like Mike TV. I'm not sure who that is. But at least, hopefully, the everything is in view now, and like I said, the sound, I'll work on the sound best I can do. But anyway, hopefully you guys saw that one. I mean, that was a ballpark blast on a 1-10, and the ballpark home runs are 1-13, both left and right, and that's a 10, so that's gone. 3-run shot, 4-0 Texas. All this with 2 outs, and here is Oddibe McDowell. Oddibe McDowell. 4-8 for McDowell, and that's a 1-12 single. That's a 5, so that's a base hit. And the inning continues even further. So McDowell has a chance to get a lead. Lazorko is a -1 hold. Boone's a -3 arm. That's a total of -4. +2 for being held, making a minus. It'd be a 1-13 if he can get the lead, but they're up 4-0. What the heck? Can't get the lead, so it doesn't matter. And now the catcher, Mike Stanley, trying to help him do things right. He's stepping to the plate. He's hitting .286, 2 homers, 7 driven in. That's a 4-5, and that's a pop out to third. The Sensei makes the play. And there's your inning. 4-score inning. Abraham Lincoln 4-score inning for the Texas Rangers. However, Texas will be starting Mike Jeffcoat. He had 2 starts on the regular season, neither of which were very good, at a 12.86 ERA. So you figure California's going to score some runs. At least you would figure that. So make sure that I've got these things where I want them so you can see what's going on, since I had to rearrange my webcam thingy. Hopefully that works now. Devon White hitting .292, 10 homers, 38 driven in. He hit .263 real world. As you can see, Jeffcoat, a former Giant, or maybe a future Giant, I'm not sure which. 3-5 against the left-hander is a 1-2 triple. That's a 7. That'll be a double for Devon White. White doubles. That brings up Dick Schofield, shortstop. Schofield hitting .228, 4 homers, 23 driven in. He hit .251 real world. That's a 5-8, and that's a line out to first base. Lines it right to O'Brien. 1 away, and that'll send up Brian Downing. This weekend we will be back to the Steve Carlton replay and also doing some fall classics. I'll be doing a bunch of stuff. Probably pre-recorded so I can post them over the weekend. All right, here's Brian Downing. 5-12. Ground ball pitcher X. Fortunately on this printed card it has both his range and his defense at the same time. So he's a 3 rated range with an E12. So 3 E12. Hello Canadian, hello Ernest. I'm working on this OBS thing, trying to get it right. It is a work in progress. So 3 E12 for Jeffcoat on a pitcher X. So we'll see what he can do on a 3 E12. 3 E12. And I'm trying to speak loud enough so you guys can hear me. I know there's some issues with the volume that I got here. Let's see here. Where is my pitcher? There it is. 3 E12, 3 and a 5. 3 and a 5 for a pitcher is a G3, so he'll get the out, but the runner's going to advance to third base. That is an 8, and he is an, we said he was an E12. All right, E12. There is no 8 there, so it's just a ground ball back to the mound. However, Devon White will sneak over to third base. Out number 2. And it's a clutch situation for Doug DeSensei, third baseman. Hey JT, I'm having a great day. It's like 75 degrees outside. I was just out there a little while ago. Can't wait to get back out there a little bit more before it gets dark. Tabby's loving it. The windows were open. She's getting the fresh air and the sunshine. She loves it. Winter is just about gone. And that's all I've got to say about that. Here's DeSensei against Jeffcoat in a clutch situation. DeSensei in the clutch against lefties loses a hit on the 3-12. 2-3, and that's a fly to right to end the inning. Unfortunately, Jeffcoat, I did not have a, I don't know where I got these pictures from, somewhere from the Strat community, but it puts him down as a New York Giant, as a San Francisco Giant, not a New York Giant. Okay, so you're saying it sounds okay now? It's not too low. Like I said, it's all a work in progress. I'm trying to tweak everything. I'm gonna look up real quick and see whether Jeffcoat played for the Giants in '86 or not. I mean, '87. I mean, he might have been there in '86. They just took that picture along with him. I don't know. Let's find out. I'm gonna investigate this further because it's kind of weird they have a Giants outfit on. But he only pitched 2 games for the Rangers in '87. Actually, he didn't pitch anywhere in '86. He was with the Giants in '85, which I guess that's why the '86 Tops has him showing with the Giants. They really should have an '88 Tops picture because that's what most of the cards are, '87 or '88 Tops, and that would have him with Texas. But whatever, I picked it up so from the community, Strat community, and better than nothing there, I guess. All right, so we will go to the top of the second. 4-0 Rangers. 4-0 Rangers. Lazorko back out. And Steve Buechele will be your batter. Buechele hitting .247 on the replay. 7 homers, 29 driven in. He hit .237 real world. Lazorko, 3-8 for Lazorko. And that's a ground ball to short. That'll be handled by Schofield. 2 down. Or, sorry, 1 away. Here's Jerry Brown. And this is, like I said, this is the game I would have played offline and you would have never seen it. So the game tomorrow is going to be regular standard live presentation. It's going to be it's going to be Chicago White Sox and the Seattle Mariners. Here he is, Jerry Brown again. 6'5", switch hitter, batting left-handed. 6'5" is a fly to right field. And Darryl Miller, the right fielder, will make the catch. 2 down for Scott Fletcher. 1-6 for Fletcher. He grounds it to short, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the second. And what I'm going to try to do when this game is over is try to capture another screen with the standings on it so you can see the current standings up to date after this game is included. I'm going to attempt that. Whether I can pull it off or not is another story. But I will attempt it. All right, here's George Hendrick. Hendrick hitless in 18 at-bats. You can see that. Hopefully you can see that right here. I hope you can see the pointer there. 0 for 18. He hit 241 real world, but 0 for 18. That's pretty bad. Got to break out of it eventually. 2-7, but he won't do it here. It's a ground ball to third, where Buechele makes the play. 1 down for Bob Boone. Boone hitting 235 on the replay. A homer and 9 driven in. 4-3 is a fly ball right field X. That's Sierra. He's a 2-E12. 2 and a 6 is probably going to be okay. We'll check it out. 2 and a 6 is an F2, and he is an E12, and that's a 5. That's a rare play. With nobody on base, it's not going to be much of a rare play, I don't believe. I could be wrong. But I did say that a 2 and a 6 was an F2. So an F2 rare play, it says the outfielder catches the fly ball for an out if there's a run on third. See, there's no run on third, so it kind of takes away anything you might have had from the rare play. So, therefore, just a regular old fly out. And 2 away for Wally World. Wally Joyner. For some reason they dropped him way down the order. He is hitting 309 on the replay. 16 homers, 38 driven in. That's a 5-11, lefty-lefty. That's a ballpark blast. It's 1-13, and that's a 17. So bad break there for Joyner. He will fly it to right field, and the inning is over. So we go to the third. Still 4-0 Texas. And like I said, this is just an experimental thing here. Might be a one and done. Not sure. Just something I want to tinker around with. So here is Ruben Sierra. It's a 1-4 for Sierra against the right-hander, and that's a strikeout. So Sierra down on strikes. That'll bring up Pete O'Brien. O'Brien hitting 290, 13 homers, 32 driven in. That's a 4-6, and that's going to be a walk. Base on balls issued to O'Brien. He's no threat to run. And that brings up Larry Parrish. See what he can do here against Lazorko. 6-11. Ground ball pitcher X. We're back to Lazorko. Lazorko is an E0. And according to the computer, as you can see, he's a 2E0. So he's a 2. We'll roll this. You can't make an error, but I'm rolling for a 5 in case there's a rare play. And there is none. So it's 2 and a pitcher. And we roll a 4. That's not very good. 2 and a 4 is a G3. So the only play is at first base. So that will advance the runner. With 2 outs, that'll put O'Brien in scoring position. For Pete Incaviglia in a clutch situation. He had the big 3-run homer his first time up. 1-4, split chance. 1-2 is a single. That's a 10, so he will line it to Schofield. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the fourth, or bottom of the third rather. Still 4-0. Jeff Coate somehow or another has pitched 2 shutout innings. Not sure how he managed that. Darryl Miller, right fielder, hitting 223 on the replay, 3 homers, 13 driven in. 5-8, and that's a line out to first base. Pete O'Brien snags it. One down. That'll bring up Mark McLemore. McLemore hitting .277, 3 homers, 21 driven in. 4-6, and that's a switch hitter batting right-handed. That's an in-home run straight up, but McLemore has weak power, so it will only be a single. But McLemore might be looking to run. Remember, see that +9 there on Jeffcoat. So definitely a tempting thing to get the lead here. 4, 5, or 6, he gets the lead. He does. He's going to go 18 being held to 16, but then the +5 makes it a 21. So the only way that he can be caught is on a 20. The T rating on Stanley, let's see what kind of T rating he has. His T rating is an 8. So I think they're gonna concede the stolen base and not take a chance. So McLemore will steal second base with 1 out for Devon White. Jeffcoat to White. 1-3, and that's a ground ball to third. That'll hold McLemore at second base, but had McLemore not stolen, that would have been a double play. So there's 2 away, and it's up to Dick Schofield in a clutch situation. Against lefties, he loses 2 hits, 1-10 and 2-7, and 3-3, so loses 3 hits against lefties. Dick Schofield. 2-5 for Schofield. That's a line out to third. Snagged by Buechele. And that will end the inning. So Jeffcoat, amazingly, has pitched 3 shutout innings. Go figure. Zorko back out. He's got a fatigue of 7, so he can go for a while. As long as he's effective. Here's McDowell. O to be McDowell. 5-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. Devon White's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the error. And his error is an E9. So in center field, E9, the only errors a E9 center fielder can make are 3, 4, 14, 17, and 18. And good play there for Devon White. 1 out. McDowell retired. Brings up Mike Stanley, catcher. 1-5, and he's going to draw a base on balls. He will not be held. And here is Buechele. It's 2-4, and that is a pop-up second base. McLemore there, 2 down, and now it's going to be up to Jerry Brown, the governor. See what he can do. He's 0 for 2 so far. 1-4, make it 0 for 3 as he grounds to McLemore to end the inning. Go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 4-0. Mike Jeffcoat hanging on. Don't know how, but he is. And he'll be facing Brian Downing. .17 for Downing. That's a 1-15 double. That's a 10. Leadoff double for Brian Downing. Downing with the leadoff double. Here comes the sensei. Maybe this second time around they can get to Jeffcoat. Oh, that one die didn't go through. Let's redo this. He's got a fatigue of 4, so this is actually his fatigue inning. 2-9, and that's a walk. So 1 more base runner, and he will be fatigued. So Texas getting that bullpen loose right away. And in their bullpen, they have Mike Loynd, a right-hander, loosening in the bullpen. Mike Tender Loynd. Here's Hendrick. .211 for Hendrick. That's a ground ball shortstop A. That's a Giovanni's Tailor Shop. 6-4-3 double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. The unofficial sponsor of this channel, but the official sponsor of the tailor-made double play of the game. If you were in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania, stop by and check them out. They may give you a discount. All right, that'll bring up Bob Boone with 2 outs and a runner at third. That's a 4-6, and that's a pop out to third. There's a dot there, but he's on the verge of fatigue, but he's not there yet. So the pop out will be legitimate. And Jeffcoat gets out of it again. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the 5th, still 4-0. Hello, Dr. D. Dr. D just trying something different today, that's all. I was going to play this offline. I figured what the hey, be a good game to try my experiment with here, so we'll see. Here's Scott Fletcher. That's a 2-7 for Fletcher, and that's a 1-17 single, base hit. Scotty Fletcher. Lazorko, like I said, it's a -4 on the hold, so it wouldn't be a good idea for Fletcher to try anything. He's going to hold right where he is. They will hold him on, but he's not going to carry too far off the bag. Here's Sierra. Oh, and the red die got stuck on there. I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right, again. 1-9, and that's a ground ball third base ace, so it's around the horn double play. We got double plays coming out of our yin-yang here. 5-4-3 double play clears the bases. 2 down for Pete O'Brien. 5-6, and that's a split chance. 1-3 is a single, but that's a liner right to McLemore to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. They're going to start Jeffcoat out, but he is on a very short leash, as he is just about tired, very close to fatigue. And it's a lefty-lefty matchup with Joyner. This may be his last batter. We're not sure. But the good thing for him is he's got a 4-0 lead to work with. 5-8, and that's a pop-up to first base. So they'll let him keep going. See if he can get 5 innings in. That is needed to get the win. You got to go 5 innings. So they're going to try to get him 5 innings. Here's Miller. 6-6. That's an in-home run straight up, and that is gone. So maybe they went one batter too many. 6-6, straight up in-home run. He's got normal power. It is gone. Darryl Miller, home run number 4. And that's exactly what he had on the replay, RBI 14. So now, he for the season, he had 4 homers, 16 runs batted in. Now he's got 4 homers, 14 runs batted in. And you can see he's only got about 12 at-bats left to match his total. So it's a home run for Miller, and it puts the Angels on the board. It is now 4-1. McLemore, they're going to give Jeffcoat one more batter. 6-5. That's an in-home run chance the same way, but it's weak power, so it's just a single. And that's going to be, they're not going to go any further. Jeffcoat is now tired, and they are going to go to the bullpen. So they will go to the bullpen for Mike Lloyd. Go to the Texas bullpen. And Mike Lloyd will get the call. Mike Lloyd. So we get Jeffcoat out of there. He will get a no decision. Lloyd coming in. Mike Lloyd on the replay is 2-4 with a 7.33 ERA. He was 1-5 with a 6.10 real world. And he'll be facing Devon White to start things off. McLemore is at first base. Lloyd has a +7 hold, so that's not going to help the cause either. So McLemore, looking to possibly get a lead, needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get that lead. He does not, so he will hold. So Devon White will step in with McLemore at first base and 1 out. Facing the new pitcher, Mike Lloyd. 2-6, and that's a ground ball second base A. It's another Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. Lloyd throws 1 pitch and gets 2 outs and keeps the Angels to just 1 run. We go to the top of the 6th. It's 4-1 in favor of Texas. Lazorko back out. He'll be facing Larry Parrish, Pete Incaviglia, and Odeby McDowell. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Schofield at 2E12. for Schofield. 2 and a 15 is good. E12, and that is a 15. So E12, there's a 15 right there. The one base error is a 15 on an E12. So Schofield will boot it. Error on the usually reliable Schofield. That's the second error by the Angels in this game. And here's Pete Incaviglia. His 3-run homer has been the difference. 2-7. That's a strikeout. Zorko, his... Oops, I'm dropping my stuff here. Sure, I've got everybody in order. Yeah, there we go. Just the second strikeout for Lazorko. Here's McDowell. Parrish not being held. 1-7. And that's a strikeout again. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lazorko. He's got 3 strikeouts to go with his 3 walks. And now here's Mike Stanley. 4-4. Pop out to second base. McLemore's got it. And that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. Still a 4-1 ball game. Loin back out. He has the fatigue. He can finish the game if he's effective. Or at least get it to the closing situation. Here's Schofield. 3-5, and that's a ground ball to short. Fletcher makes the play. 1 away. And I know most people probably like the the regular way with the score sheet and everything, but sometimes I just like to try something different once in a while, just to mix things up. Not like I'm going to go to this permanently or anything. 1-4 is a ballpark single check, and it's only a 1 at California Anaheim Stadium. That's an 11, so that will be a ground ball to short. 2 down, and here's Doug DeSensei. 1-7 struck him out. So Loin has come in and done very well for himself, obviously. Top of the 7th we go. This is the fatigue inning for Lazorko. And he's going to be facing Buechele. Start this top half of the 7th. 4-1 Rangers. 5-6, and that's a strikeout. Zorko is strikeout number 4. To bring up Jerry Brown. The Angels are trying to catch the Oakland A's, who lost earlier today, so they can make up some ground. But they got to beat Texas. 5-4, switch hitter batting left, fly ball center field X. Again, we know that White's going to get it as a 1. E9, his only errors on E9 are 3, 4, 14, 17, and 18. And that's going to be a good play for Devon White. 2 down, and that'll send us to Scott Fletcher. Fletcher, 3-7. 3-7 is a strikeout. And that will end the inning. So Lazorko will keep full endurance into the 8th inning. Loin, certainly no problem with him. He's still rolling strong. George Hendrick in his 0 for 20. Still hitless in 20 at-bats. 1-5, he's going to be 0 for 21. Fly ball to left field. He's got to get a hit eventually. Maybe we'll have a pool going to see what game he gets the first hit in. Here's Bob Boone. 2-4 for Boone. That's a solid double for Bob Boone. Finally, they got something going to the Angels. Here's Wally Joyner. 3-5 for Joyner. Oh, he just missed a home run. 3-6 would have been a home run. 3-5, though, is a base on ball, so the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Darryl Miller, right fielder. That is a 6-10. Fly ball center field X. Fly ball center field X. And that is McDowell. He's a 3 E5. 3 and a 6. That's going to be chippy. 3 and a 6 is a single 2 stars. He couldn't quite get to it. That's a 14, and he's an E5. E5, and there is no 14 there, but it's a single 2 stars, and that will plate another run as Bob Boone comes around to score. Showing Lloyd is tired now for some reason. It's now a 4-2 ball game. Texas bullpen again starts to stir. Look at their bullpen arms, and they're looking at Dale Mahorsic loosening in their bullpen. So Dale Mahorsic trying to get ready. Loin will face McLemore. Runners at the corners and 1 out. Infield playing back for a double play. 4-3, switch hitter batting left. That's a ground ball first base X. Pete O'Brien has a chance. I don't think they were holding Miller on. No, they weren't. So he's going to keep his 2E12. He's got a chance for a double play right here. 2 and an 8 is iffy. He may get it, may not. Might be a G2. 2 and an 8 is only a G2, so they're going to get the force at second, but the run's going to score. That's a 10, and he is an E12. No error there, but it's going to be a 3-6 fielder's choice, but the run will score. And it cuts the lead to 4-3. 2 down for Devon White. McLemore again. Going to be looking for the lead. He's a 4, 5, or 6. Gets a 4. He's going to go. 18 being held as a 16, but the +5 is a 21. So again, they're going to just go ahead and concede the stolen base. They don't want to throw the ball away. So McLemore in scoring position is now a clutch situation for Devon White. In the clutch, Devon White loses a couple hits, 2-8 and 2-11. That's a 4-11. Switch hitter batting left. That's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Pete Incaviglia, a 4E16. 4 and 9. He might get lucky. I doubt it, but he might. 4 and a 9. Nope, that's a single 2 stars. We got a tie ball game. That's an 11. He's an E16. E16. There's a 12 and 13, but no 11. Single 2 stars, and we are tied at 4 apiece. And now you wonder about Mike Loin's future. He's going to exit the ball game, and here comes Dale Mahorsic in to pitch. Bobby Valentine going to the bullpen once again. And they go to Dale Mahorsic. So Mahorsic is on. He is 3-2 with 4 saves and a 6.06 ERA on the replay, which is really terrible since he was 2.99 real world. But that's just the way it goes. He is a -5 hole, which will help possibly curb some of the stealing. But Stanley is a +3, so that's going to make him a -2, which means a -4 for being held. So even if he is held and gets the jump, it's a 1 to 14. Those are still pretty good odds. They're going to try to get the lead. 3 through 6 gets in the lead. Does not get it, so he will hold. And here's Schofield. Dick Schofield now, 4-4 ball game. 2-4, pops him up to short, and that's going to do it. We go to the 7th with the score all tied at 4 apiece. Texas got an early 4-0 lead and proved they couldn't hold it. Lazorko back out. California bullpen is stirring a bit down there. They have Dwayne Bice, a righty, and Greg Minton, a righty. Those are the 2 righties they have available. They have Gary Lucas, a lefty, and Chuck Finley, a lefty. So 4 bullpen arms, from what I gather from the computer. 4 bullpen arms is what they have. Yep, that's exactly what they have, just the 4. Everybody else in their staff is looking at a future start. So they're going to see if they can get another inning out of Lazorko if possible. Maybe he's got refreshed since they tied the game. Here's Ruben Sierra. That's a 2-4, and that's a 1 for a home run. Anything else will be a double. So Ruben Sierra, leadoff double. And I think that's going to be it for Lazorko. They're not going to mess around. They will go to Gary Lucas right away. Gary Lucas, the lefty, will be coming on to face the lefty O'Brien. Zorko goes 7+, but he won't get anybody out in the 8th. And Gary Lucas, 2-0 with 3 saves and a 2.61 ERA in the replay. 1-5, 3.63 with 3 saves in the real season. And he'll be facing Pete O'Brien, lefty-lefty, trying to keep the score tied. 6-6, struck him out. Gary Lucas comes in, gets a big strikeout. 1 away for Larry Parrish, designated hitter. That's a 2-7 against the lefty, and that's a single to center field. And let's see, Devon White has a -3 arm. Sierra's a 15 runner. Not being held makes him a 16, but that -3 makes him a 13. Boy, they're going to play it safe. They're going to stop him at third base. Runners are at the corners with 1 out. If there's 2 out, they'd send him, but 1 out. They're going to see if Incavilla can get it done. Hate to have a guy thrown out at the plate. So here's Incavilla. Infield back for the double play, thinking they can turn 2 on Incavilla. 3-5, and they walk Incavilla, so it's going to load the bases. For Oddibe McDowell, another lefty-on-lefty matchup. They are playing for the double play once again. 111, and that's a fly ball. I'm sorry, 111 is a home run. 1-8, that's a 6. It's gone. A grand salami for Oddibe McDowell. Look at it again. 111. I'll bring the card up a little closer if it helps you look at it. 111 is a 1-8 home run, and that's a 6. It's upside down, but I guarantee you it is a 6. That is gone. A grand salami for Oddibe McDowell. And the Rangers have blown this thing open now to 8-4. And Lucas doesn't know what to do. He came in and struck out the first batter, and he hasn't done anything since. Here's Stanley. 3-7, and he's gonna strike out. 2 down for Steve Buechele. But the Rangers now lead it 8-4 here in the 8th. 1-7 against the lefty. That's another strikeout. So he strikes out the side. But oh, by the way, funny thing happened on the form. He gives up a grand slam. So it's 8-4 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And it'll be Downing facing Mahorsic. Downing to Sensei and pitiful George Hendrick. They might pinch hit for George Hendrick just to put him out of his misery. 1-5, and that's a home run. 1-11. That's gone. So Brian Downing says, not so fast, my friend. I'm going to come back. 1-5. Look at it again. A 1-5 is a home run. 1-11, and that's a 4. So Brian Downing goes deep. Home run number 16 for Downing. And that creeps him back a little closer at 8-5. Here's the Sensei. Bobby Valentine wondering who he has to go to in his bullpen and he can get an out. 111 for the Sensei. He flies to right, so there's the first out. And we're going to be merciful to George Hendrick and bring in somebody to pinch hit for him. They're going to bring in Rupert Jones, and Rupert Jones will stay in the game to play right field. They just can't stand seeing George Hendrick being abused like this. So he will be taken out, and they will bring in Rupert Jones to pinch hit. So Rupert Jones steps in, 212 on the replay, 4 homers, 7 driven in, 245 real world. 2-5, and that's a ground ball to third. What do you want to bet George Hendrick would have got a hit on 2-5? No, he would have lined to third, so it didn't matter. We just saved him from going 0 for 22. Here's Bob Boone. 3-4 for Boone. He's going to ground to short. And that's going to end the inning. So now we need a new left fielder to replace Hendrick, and that's where Rupert Jones will stay in the game for that. And now let's see, they're going to bring in They got two switches and a right. They're going to go ahead and bring in Minton just to replace Lucas. So Greg Minton will be coming on to pitch for the Angels in this 8-5 game. Minton be facing the top of the order, Jerry Brown, Scott Fletcher, and Ruben Sierra. Minton 0-1 with 2 saves and a 1.42 ERA in 13 innings. In real world, he was 5-4, 308, 10 saves. Jerry Brown, switch hitter, 2-4. Ballpark single check. It's only a 1 though, so no luck there. That will be a pop-up to Wally World. 1 down. And that'll bring up Scott Fletcher. 6-8. And that's a fly ball to center field. 2 down. And that'll bring up Ruben Sierra. 4-6. And that's going to be a single. Base hit for Sierra. 0 hole, but the -3 from Boone is still there, so we're not going to try anything. They're going to let Pete O'Brien swing away. 2 outs and a runner at first. O'Brien, 4-10, and that is a fly center field X. Again, Devon White's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're checking for the error. That is an 11, and the only errors in center field for E9 are 3, 4, 14, 17, and 18, so that's a good play. And that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the California Angels in this 8-5 game. And the Rangers, it is a save situation, so they will go to the wild thing, Mitch Williams, try to close the gap or close the door. We will go to Mitch Williams out of the bullpen. Wild thing. He is on to face Joyner, Miller, and McLemore, your scheduled hitters. 1-5, and that's a ground ball to first. O'Brien has it. So 6 saves real world for Mitch Williams. He's had 8 saves in the replay, but his ERA is 7.15, and he's got 3 losses. But going for save number 9. Joyner is out, and here's Miller. 1-7, and he strikes out. So the wild thing coming in with a lot of fervor. Here's McLemore. McLemore is 2 for 3, so we're not going to pinch hit for him. 5-5, and that's a strikeout to end the ball game. Boy, wild thing didn't mess around. He came in throwing darts. So let me see if I can... First of all, I need to do, were they both, there's a lefty versus a righty. So California faced a lefty. Okay, so there we go there. All right, let me see if I can make another window capture and capture this box score for you all. Possibly. Don't know how that's looking, but looks like it's almost sideways here. I don't know if I can make it. The only way to make it bigger, though, that's the problem, without getting it off the screen. Don't know how to make it bigger. I don't know if that, I think that made it worse. So let me try to fix that. Whoa. Let me try to fix this. It's probably a little small to see, though. That's the problem. Let me see what I can see on my phone here and see what it's looking like. I think you can generally see the thing there. 8 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for the Rangers. 5 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors for California. Mahorset, the winner, he's 4-2. Mitch Williams, his 9th save. Lazorko drops to 0-3. So let's go to the main screen and see if we can get the standings. see if I can capture that somehow. Let's get rid of that. Oops, let's do this. Let's make another window capture. How about that? Alright, so hopefully, not too messy with all that. Hopefully you can see what's going on there. Let me see if I can get rid of some of this other stuff. I'll just play it like this. Hopefully you can see. Let's see if I can get this to expand a little bit. Might not be able to do it, I don't know. But anyway, this is what we got. California with the loss now drops to 33-30. So they are, they are 5 games back of Oakland now. They could not take advantage of Oakland losing to Kansas City. Texas had dropped to last place below Seattle. They're now 12 games back. You can see in the AL East, Milwaukee and Toronto in a dead heat. Yankees and Tigers fading. And that's what we got right now as far as the standings go. And we'll close that out. And we'll look at, that was game 428. So we are looking now, hopefully you can see there it says 428 total. Home teams are 218 and 210. So not that much of a home field advantage. If we look at the win streaks, perhaps. Go over here and see if I can bring this down a little bit. I don't know if I can or not. If I bring it up, I mean. Look at the win streaks for these teams. Who's hot, who's not. You can see Cleveland has lost 8 in a row. Cleveland has lost 8 in a row. Toronto has won 6 in a row. So has Seattle. That's how Seattle has passed Texas. But there you go. There are your standings in the American League. So there you go, a freebie. Probably will go in and edit this at the beginning where it was silent and just maybe just chop that part of the video off and start it off where I got sound. Maybe I'll do that. But tomorrow we'll be back to our regularly set up for the regular Friday morning game at 9 a.m. between the Chicago White Sox and the Seattle Mariners. That's what we're going to have for that. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all. Wait a minute, what's the question here? Bill McCann. Are you playing random games and entering the dice results? I need to figure out the setting. No, this is my replay, my 1987 replay. I usually play it every morning at 9 a.m. cards and dice with the full score sheet and everything. But I just decided to experiment with OBS and try to set things up. So it is all in OBS. I'm not an OBS expert by any means. There is some, a lot of settings to go through on that to capture windows and everything like that. So basically all I do is I go to window capture and I pick up the part of the screen in Strat-O-Matic that I want to capture and place it where I want to place it on the screen, and that's how I try to maneuver everything to get the line score in one spot, the field in one spot, the player pictures in another spot, and so forth. So I'm sure that's clear as mud, but anyway, that's what's going on. So once again, the wild thing, Mitch Williams came through big time, struck out the side, and that's about all she wrote. California had no chance after that. So that's going to do it from here until tomorrow morning. If you are able to check it out live, if not, check it out on Memorex. It is going to be Chicago White Sox and Seattle from the Kingdom, and it will be Floyd Bannister against Lee Guterman. That'll be the matchup tomorrow. It'll be the final game from the June 15th schedule, and then on Monday we'll start with June 16th, and start all over again with a new set of series. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to